Louis Crevier has secured the bag. He is back with a 2-year deal. Could the Blackhawks make another trade this offseason? And where does Spencer Knight rank among NHL goalies? All that and your mailbag leftovers coming up next on CHGO Blackhawks. Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks podcast. Hope you're having a lovely Thursday. I'm Jay Zawoski. That's Mario Cheribasi. Sarah's
Hello.
over there. Devin's over there waiting to run the show. She's scared, but she's going to do it soon. We're going to make it happen. And you're here, and we appreciate that. Do us a favor, hit the like button for us. Make sure you are subscribed to our YouTube page as well. If you're checking us out on your favorite podcast app, thank you. Make sure you're following or subscribed on your favorite app, and leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and or Spotify. Before we get to your mailbag leftovers from earlier this week, we have got a little bit of breaking news, including a new contract for defenseman Louis Crevier. 2-year deal, $900,000 cap hit. What stood out to me, it's a one-way deal. It's an NHL deal for Louis Crevier.
Good for him. I think that is completely fair. Not that you were afraid that Crevier was going to break the bank or anything like that, but that's a good depth defenseman, a right shot, which is important when you're looking at the guys that are, coming up the ranks with the Hawks defensively. Got some top guys like Levchinov and Rinzel, but if they're not in the NHL full time this year, Crevier's been in the NHL before. He's played professionally in a couple of seasons. Somebody that is not a top pair guy, but you can at least rely on to not be a turnstile. And I think it's a good piece of business. So good for him as a guy that's a 7th round pick.
Yeah.
To get to, a second NHL contract, like, good on you. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's great. And I think what's nice about Crevier is I don't think they think of him as you sort of mentioned, like, Crevier kind of is what he is at this point. I don't know if there's going to be a much more of a ceiling than he's already hit.
Yeah.
Like you said, already reliable. You feel fine when he's in a lineup. He's not going to light up the scoreboard by any means. He's not going to win any Norris trophies, but he can provide you quality NHL defense. That's the guy where if you feel like a prospect needs more time, maybe it's Artem Levchinov to start the season or Ethan Del Mastro, you can play him. And then when you call those guys back up, Crevier can sit for a little bit. Mm-hmm. I'm sure he's comfortable with, hey, look, I know I'm not going to be in the lineup for 82 games, but I'm making almost $1 million to play that role. I'll be ready when my number's called. Let's go. And I think that's a good value there because what you don't want is, I would really say, aside from Crevier, I don't want Allen, Kaiser, Del Mastro, and Levchinov, who I think you would say are the ones like on the borderline NHL, AHL. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I mentioned Nolan Allen, but him too.
Yeah.
You don't want them sitting. Either you're playing in Rockford or you're playing in Chicago.
Right.
Crevier is the one who and it feels like I'm not trying to like denigrate what he does. I just think a guy like that is a really nice, still fits in the timeline, still young, but he allows you a little bit of flexibility in terms of your defensive development. And for his troubles of being in and out of the lineup several times this year, he's getting rewarded with a nice payday.
Yeah, I think it's a good deal for him because honestly, like, it's an RFA deal, so there's still a lot of team control in there. But if he were to try and explore around the league, I don't think there's many other teams that are going to give him an NHL opportunity.
No, I wouldn't think so. Someone asked too, are they setting up a trade? It was Christian, or no, I'm sorry, it's Curtis. No, I don't. I think the value Crevier has on the team is more valuable than anything you're going to get in return.
Yeah, for sure. And again, like, I don't know what you would get in return other than another depth borderline NHL defenseman or a late round pick. Why have a future late round pick when your current late round pick is playing in the NHL? I just think it's fine to keep him around. And yeah, I don't think it's not a knock against him. It's more that there's probably more to tap into and get out of those players that you mentioned than there is to get stuff out of, anything more out of Crevier. So you have a guy who's good in the locker room. I think I think as a young player, he's kind of accepted that he's going to work hard to be a guy that they put in the lineup every night. But I think he accepts that, he knows he's probably not the guy that they're going to go to night after night after night, inherently. So I think it's completely fine. It's a good deal. And if and when those other players become NHL regulars or anything, if it happens at some point this year or next, and then you kind of find out, if Crevier is not in that mix and you have to send him down, then yeah, he has to go through waivers. Maybe somebody claims him, but then if someone does, then it's just good for him, because that team believes that they have an opportunity to give you something the Hawks weren't going to give you.
And at that point, you're probably pretty comfortable knowing you've got the guys you look at a little more highly in your organization, NHL ready, and you're comfortable with that decision.
Yeah.
And they have plenty of defensemen. You don't want to lose them for nothing, but
no,
I don't think it. We'll get there when we get there with Crevier, but this is
if we ever do.
I'm happy for him that it's a one-way deal, so he doesn't have to do the Rockford Chicago Express over and over again.
Right.
Being in a lineup is one thing. Going back to Rockford to Chicago and all over the country is a different thing. So. Congrats to Louis Crevier. Seems like a good dude.
Yeah.
Nice piece to have, especially considering a 7th-round pick.
Yep. So now we await Arvid Soderblom, who's going to arbitration.
Yep.
And then Wyatt Kaiser. Those were the three guys that were RFAs that were qualified. And the Kaiser deal is going to be interesting. More interesting than this Crevier one. And Soderblom's within arbitration, so I still imagine something's going to get done drama-free.
Yeah. Next up, Lukas Dostál of the Anaheim Ducks has signed a 5-year deal with a $6.5 million cap hit. Wondering how this impacts the next deal for Spencer Knight.
I think it makes the conversation interesting. Dostál, now this was his second deal, I believe. Whereas Spencer Knight's on his current second deal. So it might be a little bit different as far as the money plays out and everything.
This is Dostal's third deal.
Third deal. Okay, great.
Yeah.
So he did have a bridge deal. 2 year. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, yeah. I think this is now it's good. It's comparable. Now, Dostal's coming off of making much less on his second deal than Spencer Knight is. Spencer Knight's at a $4.5 million cap hit. Dostal was $800,000 and change. But I think as far as this is the young goaltender of the future, around the same age, Dostal's had an opportunity now to start in the NHL. He was the starter last season for the Ducks, played tremendously. I think it's a really good comparable. I think the number might end up being higher for Spencer Knight from a $7,
$7.5,
maybe, if it's contingent on how he actually plays. Because this year will be his first year starting in the NHL, and having that opportunity to get the majority of games, and it's really going to come down to how he actually plays. You can't just say, oh, well, because of age and what we think, we're going to pay him this. It's has he proven through the time that he's been here that he can be that starter and be that guy that you invest 6-7 years in, $6-7 million in?
I'm pretty comfortable doing that. Maybe they do want to wait and see, and see how he does this year as a starter before they commit long-term money and big money to him. I think that could ultimately end up costing them more. Mm-hmm. So maybe they do have a desire. But if I'm Spencer Knight, I bet on myself. My first year as a starter in front of a young defense, and I'm gonna, there's gonna be nights where he's stopping 35, 40 shots a game. And really making a name, proving to them that he can keep the team in games. So maybe he's better off waiting. I don't know, but it is kind of a nice, like, that's a good comparable for Knight. Dostál is. So somewhere in that ballpark, 6.5, 7.5 feels about right. It's kind of what I thought would be the number. I was kind of thinking before Dostál signed that it would be around 7 for Knight, and I think this kind of leads to that a little bit. Couple other news and notes. Joe Veleno, who the Hawks traded for, then waived, is signed in Montreal, so good luck to him. And Yegor Chinakhov of the Columbus Blue Jackets wants a trade. He wants out. He is 24 years old. He is 6'1", the magical 6'1", 201. He has 71 points in 175 games. Mario Tirabassi, do you have interest in Yegor Chinakhov?
No.
For the Blackhawks?
No. I think this is one of those situations where under 25 player wants a trade. Hawks should call him.
Yeah.
Get on board. Like, you don't need to do that for everybody. Like, just because guys are young and have played in the NHL, it doesn't mean you have to jump on and be giving up anything for. I think 71 points in 175 games. He's had injury issues and concerns in his time in Columbus.
And it's a back injury.
He had a back injury, and there's some fan contentment for him for not having a big work ethic. So I don't think that is someone that you try and move much of. Maybe you still bet on upside. I don't know, but I just don't think it's worth it. I think especially having a more clear picture of how Kyle Davidson operates with the young players, I think he's going to bet that most of the guys he has in his system could provide more than.
Yeah. Well, this is kind of the conversation we had with Scott Wheeler yesterday, and if you missed it, go check it out. Like, you're kind of projecting down the line of Nick Lardis and Oliver Moore and these like middle six scoring wingers. There's not going to be space for all of them, right? So Chinakhov, does he eventually become a first liner? Maybe. Here's the thing: if Columbus is going to give him up for a 3rd round pick, sure, I'll take a flyer on him. Great. Is he probably better than anything we're going to select in the 3rd round? Yeah, probably. But I think if Columbus is trading him, they're going to be looking for a decent haul back. This is a young player that's proven he can score at this level. But when I hear work ethic, when I hear injury, it's a red flag. So there's a limit to where I'm willing to go for a player like that. It's one thing if, like, we talked about Isaac Howard, right? Like, he is just blocked at Tampa. There's not a spot for him. They're never going to have a spot for him, so they're going to trade him so he gets an opportunity somewhere else. Like, that seems a little different, but when I hear injury, when I hear work ethic, that's concerning. Now, I'm not going to say absolutely not on this kid because there is a lot to like there, but I'm not giving up more than a draft pick, and I don't think that that's going to be enough to get him from Columbus. So,
yeah, I don't know. I just don't think it's something that you have to, wring your hands about or worry about. I just think that there are players in the system that probably deserve more opportunity than bringing somebody from the outside in, and it's someone that you still have question marks about at the NHL level.
Yeah,
I think you just ride with the guys you have.
Okay. That's it for the newsy part of the show. When we come back from the break zone, we're going to get to your leftover mailbag questions. We got some super generous super chats to start. That's where we'll begin on the other side of this break, right here on CHGO Blackhawks. What is Sunnyside? Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary. It's your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping. So whether you're new to the cannabis game, whether you're an old pro, or whether you're looking for something new, Sunnyside has everything you need to elevate your summer. They've got over 100 strains to choose from. Easy online ordering, in-store pickup. It could not be simpler. we know you'll love Cresco and FloraCal's incredible quality and consistent products. It's all great stuff. Check out my favorite brands, Good News and Mindy's. Visit Sunnyside.shop for bright buys every day, including 50% off your first 3 online purchases. Enter that promo code HICHGO at checkout to qualify. Exclusions apply. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary. Bright buys every day, only for 21 plus or Illinois MedCard holders. And for existing customers, use promo code CHGO50 for 50% off one Cresco Labs brand item.
And new vehicles are in store at Ray Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. And this is your chance to score a great deal at the Employee Pricing Plus sales event. Right now, you can lease the new 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab for only $399 a month for 27 months. Plus, you could shop over 125 vehicles priced under $20,000. The expert team at Ray Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram is here to help you during each step of your car shopping journey, and they prioritize affordability so you know you won't overpay for the vehicle you need. And with Ray's price promise, you can shop confidently with no add-ons or hidden fees ever. Price you see is the price you pay. Go check out our partner today to shop one of the Chicago area's largest inventories, and don't miss out on the Employee Pricing Plus sales event for huge savings on the Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab. For more information, visit Ray Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram today on Route 12 in Fox Lake or online at raycdjr.com.
All right, we got some super chats we want to get to before we get to our bursting mail sack. Samuel, $20, says, if you can pick 2 players from the 09-10 Hawks and transplant them to this current team, who would it be? The first player choice would be between Kane, Taves, Keith, and Hossa. Second player would be from the rest of the team. Okay, so we can only choose from that crop. That is a crop.
What a crop.
From the, okay, so I'm for
the biggest 4 players,
yeah,
and then the rest of the group.
So we can't pick 2 from that group, which I appreciate.
That's fine.
For this team in particular, I'm adding Patrick Kane. Mm-hmm. Because I do feel like the one thing we are not sure, we're not really sure of anything, but we're pretty sure the D is pretty well set. The one thing you're lacking is a big-time scoring right winger, and I think Patrick Kane would be a perfect fit with Connor Bedard, so that's what I would do.
That's a great choice. People would still want Patrick Kane on this team, current day, not 09-10.
You know what, though? You could convince me to take Hossa, too. Because he does bring a little bit of what they don't have.
You can, the argument for any of those 4 is an easy one. I'm going to go with Jonathan Toews because that gives you a legitimate number 1 center, power play, penalty kill, wins you faceoffs, everything. Especially that version of him, like entering prime Jonathan Toews. I'm taking him from that group. Second player from that team, Dustin Byfuglien.
Oh yeah.
I'm giving this young group a young Dustin Byfuglien, some personality, some edge, some physicality, and yeah, he's the one. And I always come back to it when we have that conversation of like, oh, who from the 10 team would you have not wanted to lose? It's always Dustin Byfuglien.
Yeah, I'm gonna look. I don't want to be an idiot and forget somebody, so I'm gonna look. But I think I've got my answer. And as much as we are sold on the Hawks defense, I think you could throw Nicholas Hjalmarsson in there.
That's a good one.
And that just solidifies everything because you feel good about the offense of Renzel, of Levshinov, Korchinski. I would really like a Korchinski-Hjalmarsson pair to have that kind of the fail-safe there to keep him,
Weren't they both?
They're both left.
Both left, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean,
so you could put
Hjalmarsson, like, okay,
you could put him with Levshinov then instead.
Sure,
that's fine. Put someone to be the security blanket for one of these more risky offensive-minded defensemen.
Yeah. No,
so sure, let's do that.
Good.
Let's add any of those 4 names in the first group. That's fine. Just pick one out of a hat.
Yeah,
and then
you're not wrong.
That'd be
way.
fun. P3 Arizona with $7.30 says, my hot take, number 73, that's Lukas Reichel. This is your year. The Hawks need you. Chicago needs you. CHGO needs you. Realize your potential and make it happen. Well, this is probably his last chance.
I want it to happen. I don't know if it will, but I want it to.
I want it to as well.
Yep.
So is my daughter. Michael Evans, $5.
So does Holly.
Happy birthday to Connor Bedard. No more Dino Nuggies, iPads, and Loop-de-Doo toys in Connor's corner. He's under 21.
Yeah, that's still, I mean, there's no age restriction
He's
on
going to have the teen, though.
Dino Nuggies.
He's
What?
20.
He's 20.
There's no more 19, 18. He's 20.
20.
So he's in his 20s.
He is in his 20s.
Can he
That's
drink?
true.
No, but
No.
he's in his
In
20s.
Canada?
He can in Canada.
In
Yeah.
Canada, he can, yes.
Yeah, which will come in handy when he goes to Vancouver. Ew.
Which is inevitably happening, as we all know.
Yeah, happy birthday to Connor. A teenage run only bested by Eddie Olczyk by 1 point in his tenure with the Blackhawks. But yeah, I think it's
What if Connor Bedard had not had a broken jaw? He would have passed Eddie Olczyk.
He would have passed Eddie Olczyk. Yeah, he would.
Yeah.
For sure.
100%.
By a couple points at least.
All right. Good job, everybody. Thanks for the super chats. You keep paying us. We'll keep answering your questions. Do
Yeah.
it. Hit the like button. But we got 70 likes already. It's beautiful.
Nice.
Hit that like button. Let's get to 100 before the next break. Please.
Including diehard Discords.
Yes.
You become a diehard, you get top priority during our mailbag segments, which in the summer last longer than 1 day.
They sure do. Thank God.
Sometimes they last a whole week.
Yes, and we appreciate that. All right. Who do we got first here, Sarah? Let's go
From
to Alex the Swiss.
The one Swiss Alex.
It says, thanks for the show. Big fan of your work and guys and gals. Part of my daily routine. It's tough on the weekends, though.
Thank you, Alex.
Regarding the goalie e-bug change, is it likely that a 3-goaltender rotation will get the standard? Goaltenders are often inconsistent, get hurt, and if they play too much, it can be very streaky. Riding the hot hand could be the motto.
This is interesting. I mean, I think so. The e-bug changes moving forward, starting next season with the new CBA. It's no longer going to be, hey, did you play D3 college hockey and do you have a ticket to the game tonight? Well, go grab your gear. You're playing.
Yeah. It's
no longer that for the e-bug. Each team will have their own traveling emergency goaltender, but there's like qualifiers. Like it has to be something like never played professionally.
Yeah,
or
you can't have like Brossoit and
yeah,
and
like your emergency goalie
right.
isn't Laurent Brossoit if he ever gets healthy. It's going to be someone who has played goalie at a higher level, but never played pro, all that stuff. So there's a lot of things. So what we saw last year for a short while after the trade for Spencer Knight and pre-Peter Mrazek trade is that you had Mrazek, Knight, and Soderblom, 3 guys that all had claim to NHL ice, and running a 3-goalie rotation is very difficult in the NHL. But I think this idea that the Swiss Alex brings up is interesting because I think now you're going to see more teams that have solidified NHL goaltenders 1 and 2, but their third goalie might be their AHL starter or whatever, is probably going to be someone that's like, they should probably be in the NHL, right? And I think you might see some of those types of players kind of get buried, but you'd rather have, I'm not saying that they'd have 3 active goalies on their roster, but I think there'll be less of, well, we have a starter and then some backups and some guys, but we have a starter that's going to play 60, 70 games. I think that's completely out the window. I think now you're going to get, more teams that look at we want a tandem and then a good number 3 option rather than, the old, here's Carey Price for 75 games and then who knows who the backup is.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this is adjusted to. It's a good question. Thank you, the Swiss Alex.
Yeah.
I said that was right?
Yeah.
All right, Sarah, what else
Alex
we got?
the Swiss.
Well,
Alex the Swiss.
I want to answer Curtis's question. I did send him a link, but
nice.
just so everyone else is aware, if they didn't already hear, we have a new show.
Great time to be a
the Hogan
diehard.
Johns. Yeah, great time to be a diehard. And we have limited edition merch that for $36 for year 1 includes a limited edition Hogan Johns t-shirt, or you could do $59 for year 1, including a limited edition Hogan Johns hat. So yeah, we have a little diehard deal going on.
And when you become a diehard, you get, I believe you get a link that allows you to go to the Discord. So, Curtis, if you're looking for that, if you are a diehard already and you're looking for the Discord information, should be probably in that
your
initial
welcome email or whatever.
Email, yeah. And then, you sign up for Discord, and we got a very active CHGO Blackhawks Discord channel. All the regulars are in there. Great conversations, 24/7 Hawks and memes, and it's a wonderful group, great community.
Yes.
So yeah, that's how you get into the Discord, and then there's the Mailbag channel as well.
And of course, you save on all of our merch and takeovers and watch parties and all that jazz. So it's a great deal.
Good stuff.
All right, Edward is up next. He says the Isaac Howard for Sam O'Reilly trade, pretty good return for Tampa considering Howard held the cards. Do you think Stan Bowman took a home run hack here because he's going to have a hard time assembling a team this season due to cap constraints? And do you think he will regret the decision in the long term?
I don't think you're going to really regret it in the long term, because I look, you look at Howard and you look at O'Reilly, and they're kind of on even footing, I'd say, as prospects, and it's a good 1-for-1 trade, and Edmonton gets a guy that should be going to the NHL,
you think?
Or at least get an opportunity to right away. And O'Reilly's a guy that I think for Tampa they have longer runway for their prospects because their NHL roster is pretty tight right now. So that's the reason Howard wanted to leave, and you have more time for O'Reilly to develop. So I think it's a good deal for both sides. I don't know if you're really going to regret it if the Oilers win a cup while Isaac Howard...
Why not?
Ike Howard, as he wants to be called. If he's on the roster and they win a cup, who cares? It's worth it, And that's... We know that's how Stan Bowman operates.
Yes, it is.
Whatever,
year to year.
Whatever it takes to win a cup, and who cares?
And Howard is 2 years older than O'Reilly, so more NHL ready in theory. Well, O'Reilly has maybe more impressive numbers, but it's junior versus college. But this is kind of how we saw whoever traded for Isaac Howard. This would be kind of the thing, is someone who's maybe an equal level of prospect, but not quite NHL ready yet.
Yeah.
So now Tampa can look at this and say, all right, well, 2 years from now, who knows where Tampa's going to be. Maybe they're starting to look at like, all right, well, you know what? We're not going to win a Stanley Cup with this core anymore. Start tearing it down a little bit. Maybe you get some retirements in there as well. And then they've got a nice piece to start there if they want to rebuild on the fly or just completely rebuild, whatever it might be. Sam O'Reilly is a really nice addition there. So it's a good trade for both teams. It makes sense on both ends. All right, this one from Snidbit. Two-part question. Number one, is Sidney Crosby Bedard's idol?
Yes.
Yes. And two, don't you think there's a chance he matches his idol's contract approach and takes an 8-year by $9.898 million deal? If you don't know this, Sidney Crosby's deals are always $8.7 million to match his jersey number 87. Maybe that's why Bedard took 98. He's like, I'm going to do what Sidney Crosby did, but I want the most possible I can take because 99 is retired throughout hockey.
As much as it was like, oh, LOL, like, would he do that contract? I kind of hope he does.
Yeah, it'd be fine.
I think with the cap going up and what his new contract could be, you'd be north of probably 10.
Yeah, I'd be very pleased if that was his deal. And especially if he does it his entire career.
Right, yeah. Yeah, like Crosby has done. Yeah, I mean, that would be cool. That would be, honestly, that would be team friendly over that length of that contract. And yeah, like I said, like if he has a quote unquote breakout year. I mean, when you lead the team 2 years in a row as a teenager, breakout is to his own standards and to his own expectations. But if he's, a guy that puts up 80 points or something as a 20-year-old, that's, and then you just bet on the future, it's going to be north of 10.
Crosby has made $8.7 million for the last 17 years.
Yeah, every one of his contracts besides his rookie deal.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Good for him.
That's being team friendly. Because
I mean, there's a reason the Penguins stayed competitive longer than the Hawks did.
Right.
Because some of their guys took less to stay, whereas the Hawks guys were all getting top dollar. And no blame to them, but like that was one of the criticisms of Bowman was like, hey, if Kane and Taves each take $1 million less, you're keeping somebody.
Mm-hmm.
That was a frustration sometimes. Yeah. All right, break time. hit that like button. We are very close to 100 likes, so let's get over there in the next 2 minutes, and we'll be back with more of your mailbag questions coming up next on CHGO Blackhawks.
Today is a little bit cooler, but this summer has been extremely hot. Hopefully your air conditioner has been up to the challenge. If not, you got to get in touch with Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. They've been serving the Chicagoland area for over 50 years, and they are here to check out your air conditioning, get it tuned up, maintained, or installed. If you've been waiting, now is the time. Four Seasons expert technicians ensure you always receive reliable service. And what's great is Four Seasons doesn't charge more for service during nights, weekends, and holidays. Those are the times your AC usually craps out on
100%
you.
of the time.
You can also save up to $4,000 on new comfort systems with Four Seasons. New AC units starting from $39 a month and AC furnace combos from $57 a month. Your trusted local experts are Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. Visit fourseasonsheatingcooling.com for all of their special offers and money-saving coupons. fourseasonsheatingcooling.com.
And just like your home needs a home ice advantage, nope, your team needs a home ice advantage. Your home needs a home floor advantage, and Empire Today can help you get it.
Both
That's
are
live
good.
radio, friends. Empire Today has flooring experts, dedicated flooring pros. They are only focused on flooring. It's an obsession. It's a bit of a problem, but it works to your advantage because you're going to get great floors from Empire Today. That's why they're your best bet for a new floor. They live and breathe flooring, and they'll be with you every step of the way. It's not like those big box stores. They know what you need. They're going to help you get it. Simple as that. Schedule a free in-home estimate today because you know what? Some things are just better at home. CHGO listeners, you're going to get a $350 discount when you use the promo code CHGO. Yes, you heard me correctly. You're going to get some new floors, and you're going to get a $350 discount with code CHGO. Restrictions apply. Visit empiretoday.com/CHGO for full details. That's empiretoday.com/CHGO. All right, back to the mailbag we go. We are not quite at 100 yet.
Shout out Curtis. He just became a diehard.
Nice.
Boom.
Good job,
There you
Curtis.
go. Figured it out. Love it.
Well done. We're happy to have you.
Curtis Bloomquist.
I like that.
That's a good name.
Sounds like a hockey player.
It does.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Seth. Say Seth.
Seth the Oreo.
I know he is young, but with Connor Bedard having only a 38.6% face-off win percentage, would it be better to move him out to wing and let him focus on scoring? This is kind of the eternal question about Connor Bedard.
Hopefully it gets answered this season.
Yeah, I'm not overly concerned with face-offs. I mean, would you like him to be closer to 50%? Of course.
A number that low is concerning.
Yeah. Will he get to, if he gets to 45%, which is still not great, I'm pleased with that. But I don't know if face-off success alone dictates whether he's a center or a wing. I think it's the style of game he plays. I'm very interested to see Jeff Blashill and Michael Pekka get their hands on Connor Bedard to see what he can do to play a more center-style game. And I don't want to take any of the offense away from him, but I do think like he is very effective in the center of the ice, getting that shot off quickly. Is he probably a little more suited physically to be a winger because he's not huge? Maybe. But I do think he has the ability to play center. He was drafted as a center, played center his whole life. I'm willing to give him some time to work on the face-offs, figure things out, and I want to give him as much of a look at center as they can before I just say, well, he's just a winger. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but just I'm not ready after 2 seasons with 3 coaches to say, well, we're done.
Yeah, I think the argument to have him play the center position despite having, underwhelming and poor face-off numbers is that we hear a lot about the center of the ice, and especially in the offensive zone, being the most dangerous for scoring opportunities and creating. So you want your best players to be able to get to that position, and it's easiest to do that by just having your best players be center. So if Bedard works out as a center, then he's inherently in those positions, based off of where he's at positionally. They talk a lot about, Anders Sorensen last year talked a lot about wanting to get him, in motion to make plays and getting him the puck in motion and having him, not play from a standstill. And I feel like you're more prone to that on the wing offensively than through the middle and playing center. There's a lot more movement involved on both ends of the ice. The face-off percentage, I think an acceptable number where you're like, okay, it's not great at face-offs, but the offensive production outweighs that low number, for me is like 45. I think if he can get to like 45, which is a drastic improvement from 38, and he's putting up, if it's close this season, let's say, if he's like around 45% and he's close to or at or above point per game, then you're like, fine. Then there you go. And the defensive aspect of things too also has to develop, but that can take time for teenage centers in the league. There's very few that are going to be Selke caliber guys right out the bat. So the defensive aspect of the game will have to develop too. And as he gets bigger, stronger, faster, with more training, more just physical growth and development, like that will come along with it.
All right. I see we got a super chat up there we want to get to. This one is from P3 Arizona again. How come Dynasty Hawks teams couldn't do what Florida just did? Was it a perfect storm of Stan and Cap, or does it fall mainly on the players?
Well, so Florida has no state income tax. So
non-factor. Gary Bettman has told me.
They have the inherent advantage. No, I think it's a matter of those teams, and yeah, like we said, like it was Bowman, more or less saying, well, you deserve all of this money, so I'm going to give you all of this money.
You know what? We want to thank you for what you've done, and here we're going to make you the 2 highest paid players. You're going to give you identical contracts. You're going to grow old together, and yada yada. Like I don't see. Like look at the difference in personality between Bill Zito and Stan Bowman. Where Bill Zito, the Panthers GM, can go, look, we want to keep winning. We want you all here. Yeah, you could probably go make $10 million, $11 million bucks a year, Sam Bennett from Columbus, or you can sign here for 8 and stay, and we can try this again next year.
Yeah,
and yes, the income tax thing is certainly a factor. Brad Marchand, go explore free agency, go be a Maple Leaf, go live through that, or sign here for a little bit less and with another chance to win a Stanley Cup and keep this thing going, keep the band together. Like you want your GM to have a little bit of that swagger, be like, yeah, sure. Yeah, great. Go sign $10 million bucks with Columbus. And then tell me 6 months into that, you're like, man, watching the Panthers from a distance, like, man, I wish I was part of that still.
Well, and then also too, like to have the stones to, after what people will call a very successful season, you go out and you trade Mackenzie Weegar and Jonathan Huberdeau, who at that time was the franchise player for the Panthers, and you get a guy like Matthew Tkachuk because you identify like that's a guy that's going to put us over the top when it matters the most, and you have you operate with that kind of mentality, and in the past with the Hawks, like you could have definitely seen in that situation, if Stan Bowman was in that position, maybe it's not. We're making that kind of move. Maybe it's, we want to be loyal and extend and keep around Weegar and Huberdeau and these guys that have been here for a while and that had big seasons.
But I don't think they win a cup with those two.
So it's the shrewdness to kind of, realize like more of the business end than the loyalty end. Now, you were loyal to the right guys for that cup run with the Hawks, but I think there's something to be said for being able to find the right players that are going to extend that window rather than these are the guys. As long as they're here, the window's open, and then when it closes, it's slammed shut.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I don't know. We don't know exactly how Bowman handled the negotiations with Kane and Taves, but there was that. There was when I totally lost faith in Sam Bowman was the Brent Seabrook extension. Right. When we had all been watching his decline for 2 or 3 years, and it's like, what are you doing? Why are you signing him? That like just ridiculousness. That's different personalities. You want your GM and like Bill Zito to trade Huberdeau and Weegar. That took stones to do, and you want your GM to do something unpopular. If it's if he thinks it's the right thing to do to get him over the hump. And I do think, while you did get Matthew Tkachuk back in that trade, and 0% of people that are Florida Panthers fans would undo that trade.
Right.
It was a little bit unpopular at the time because you just had a guy, again, set your franchise record for points, have a great season, still pretty young in his career, and you had the stones to trade him. Like that's what you want your GM to do, is to stick to his guns, believe in his moves, and do it. And I think the players see that and buy in too. So, yeah, Bill Zito he's kind of rewriting the book on GMing, and he's doing a great job.
Yeah.
$5 super chat from Storytime Wonders. Who would you RFA out of the remaining players? Rossi, McTavish, Lafreniere, or Kakko?
Is this offer sheet?
The offer sheet, yeah.
Okay. I don't think Lafreniere is under contract. Anyways, wouldn't be my pick. It would be McTavish.
Yeah, me too.
I think there's some interesting conversations happening surrounding Mason McTavish.
Yeah, Lafreniere is signed.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
There's some interesting discussions around McTavish and his, relationship with the Ducks and why he hasn't signed a new deal yet as of right now. I think it all seemed like that would just get done. I know Marco Rossi was just like, the trade talk was immediate, but I think for me, if there was a route to get Mason McTavish, that would be the route I would explore if I was Kyle Davidson.
So Jay Fish follows up with McTavish out there right now. Would Korchinski for McTavish make sense? He had good chemistry with Bedard at Worlds a few years ago.
You got to do more than Korchinski.
Yeah,
Korchinski is...
I would take that deal in a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah. I would do that, yes.
So if you would do it in a heartbeat, then the Ducks will not.
Pat Verbeek would not do that, no.
Right.
No, I think you'd have to go higher than just a 1-for-1 involving Kevin Korchinski, because McTavish is established as a young NHL center who's very good. Those cost things a lot. So yeah, I would go the route of McTavish for sure.
All right, Chill Dog 21 says, does Laurent Brossoit coming back strong help us in a trade market? And at that point, if Arvid is playing like he did last year, which of the two would Davidson likely move? All of this question contingent on Brossoit actually being a real human who actually exists, which we can't prove. I would think if Brossoit plays like they thought he was going to last year, no injury problems throughout the year, he will have the higher trade value. I think he's more proven. I think he's a bigger name. Now the contract is higher as of this moment. Will remain higher. He's not. Yeah, Soderblom's not going to get that money in with an arbitrator. But I would think that Brossoit, he makes 3.3, has the higher value of the two.
Yeah, if Brossoit is healthy, comes back. The thing is, if he's healthy and comes back and is playing well, then you have a real tough decision with what you do with the goalies, because you assume Spencer Knight is going to be your starter, and there's no indication that they don't want Arvid Soderblom around after the year he had last year. So, do you re-sign Soderblom after the season he had last year and then say, well, you're going to the AHL? Like, that's an interesting situation to be in. And
especially after they signed Brezhnev yesterday.
Right, yeah. Then why are you going out and getting that guy?
It just feels like they're not counting on Brossoit.
Yeah, that is what it feels like. So if he comes back, gets the ice time, plays well, I think you squeeze the most out of him, and then you move him, because eventually a team that's a contender is going to need some sort of goaltending help. You can always look at Edmonton and say, I know you had Brossoit before, but do you want him back?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that would be the guy that you'd move, because Soderblom's the younger guy. He's got more runway ahead of him, and as the direction of this team is going, it's for younger players.
Windy City Hockey, $5 super chat. We talked about this very question to start the show. Must have been late. Shame. Could Dostál extension be good comparable start for night negotiations? Yes. First segment. Go check it out. We just want to acknowledge your super chat. Also, yesterday, Sprout sent us a super chat for a question with Scott Wheeler. We weren't able to get to it, but we saw it. We thank you for it. And next time we get Scott on, we'll ask that question for you, Sprout. Sorry about that. All right, we got. Want to hit the break zone one last time, or do we want to do one more?
Break zone, and then a few more mailbags, and then we'll.
Then we'll roll up out of here.
Yeah.
All right, hit the like button for us. We're over 100. We love you. Thank you.
Boom.
But don't be shy. Hit it again. Back in 2 minutes on CHGO Blackhawks.
You know that moment, the one when you realize you left your favorite sunglasses back at the beach, or you left them on the roof of your car, or at a gas station 3 states away. We've all been there. I've been there. A brand new pair of sunglasses hooked right here on my collar. Tried to tie off the boat after a nice day of lake. Boop. Right to the bottom of Fox Lake. But with Shady Rays, they've changed the game. Their sunglasses are made for real life. Seriously good-looking, polarized, durable, and not stupidly expensive. And if you lose or break them or drop them in the bottom of Fox Lake, Shady Rays will send you a brand new pair with no guilt trip, just replacements. So now you can actually wear your sunglasses without fear. You can go to concerts, on hikes, go on the boat, wherever, whenever. Shady Rays Eyewear has your back. We've teamed up with Shady Rays for a long time, and we're bringing you an exclusive offer. You can go to shadyrays.com, use the code CHGO, and get 35% off of those polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself. The shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people.
And maybe this summer you're traveling, and maybe you're an overpacker like me. I pack 3 pairs of underwear per day because you never know.
You never know.
You might find a gluten.
That's
you don't
true.
want that. So save packing space with Mando's 4-in-1 acidified cleansing bar. Shampoo, face wash, body wash, and deodorant all in one bar. It is not simpler than that. Room for more underwear. Perfect.
It's true. Room for more gluten.
Yeah, exactly. Mando's great. You can use it anywhere on your body, your pits, your balls, your thigh folds, your belly buttons, your butts cracks, and your feet. Great scents, bourbon leather, Clover Woods, Mount Fuji, or Pro Sport. So use the code CHGO at shopmando.com. You'll save 20% off site-wide and get free shipping. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Smell fresher, stay drier, and boost your confidence with one of those 4-in-1 acidified cleansing bars with Mando. We are back, and yes, Jason T., you are correct. You never know when you might poop your pants. That's why you pack 3 pairs of underwear for every day you're on the trip.
That's the joke.
Because when you don't do that, you're going to make it happen.
You're daring the gods to make you poop your pants when you underpack underwear.
You're walking around Disney World, and you got the...
You're doing the tour of Disney?
It's 100 degrees with humidity, and you just ate a big bowl of chili and hash browns.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, ooh.
And then a butter beer.
I need an extra and some Mando.
Yeah.
Stat. Yeah, you got to be ready. My wife always makes fun of me. I go, I will be prepared.
Always be prepared.
You know what happened last time? Only packed 1 belt. My belt broke.
Oh.
So I had to call. I had to DoorDash a belt.
You can hold on.
I had to DoorDash a belt.
You can DoorDash anything. Emma, when we were in Wisconsin during the Potawatomi casino thing for the Cubs, Emma, her charger broke, and so she DoorDashed a charger because we were at a hotel. We weren't near like anything. You can DoorDash anything.
It's blowing my mind.
A man like me needs a belt.
That's
all I'm saying. And several pairs of underpants.
I'm telling you, elastic waistbands.
I bought some. I got some at Target.
There is no shame in it. It's much better than flies and buttons and belts.
Fair.
It's good stuff.
Get a ratchet belt though. This thing's great.
All right, you guys want to go to the next question?
I guess we're talking about belts.
I want to talk about belts. DoorDash. What's the most random thing I can DoorDash? That's what we're gonna spend the next 10 minutes on.
I don't know if you want to know.
Oh, we'll find out.
We'll find something. All right, P3 Arizona again.
Oh my God, leave us alone.
People, including sports writers, often say, let's not count the 2020 COVID season when the Blackhawks made the playoffs. I'm curious, why don't people also discount Tampa Bay for being winners that year?
They made the playoffs.
Yes. Does winning the 2020 Cup really count, or does it carry more weight given the circumstances surrounding the season? Yes, because the Hawks were well out of playoff position.
They were 24th in the NHL.
Yes, and they were just placed into a playoff spot.
Yeah.
So Tampa was well established in a playoff position and were Cup contenders that year anyway. So, yes, the Hawks won a series somehow.
Yeah,
I don't.
You give them props for in a 5-game series, which doesn't exist in the NHL other than that one augmented season, beating the Oilers in that series. But they had no business being there. Right. And I think most teams that didn't have any business being there didn't actually get to the playoff round. So I think then you get pish-poshed by Vegas in 5 games. It's just, with the whole situation being the way it was, I think that is the easiest way to explain that it just kind of gets pushed aside, because the play-in round wasn't a real playoff series because it was only best of 5, which I know other leagues do, and you count it, and the juniors and the AHL and stuff, but that's not the NHL. Right. So I'd say it would have to have been a play-in 7-game series. And then if it was a 7-game series and they beat the Oilers in 6 games or something, I'd be like, that's an actual series.
Legit, yes.
That's an actual series. And sure, okay, I'll consider that a playoff series win. But when you got to what was considered the actual playoffs, they didn't win. They wouldn't have been there in the first place. It's just very easy to kind of just be like, whatever.
So P3 Arizona now chimes in on the chat. What if the Hawks have won the Cup that year?
Then they win the Cup.
Then it counts, yes.
Yeah,
because they've won
absolutely.
several 7-game series against playoff teams.
They would have had to win 4 rounds.
Right.
Plus a play-in.
Right.
Yeah.
So that counts.
Yeah, it's convenient, but we're in the position to say it's convenient or not, I'd say.
All right. What do we got next, Sarah? This from Carol, Orange Square, Alligator.
I don't know what that means.
What's a realistic time to bring up Drew Commesso? Also, do you think Korchinski is ready to be on the team all next season?
I think there's a world in which Korchinski could be a full-time NHLer next year. I do. I think a lot will be figured out through training camp in the preseason, just kind of where he stacks up amongst the young guys, and that pretty much makes up almost all of the defensive group. But I could definitely see him playing his way to a opening night role and being in the league all year. Commesso, I mean, you have Knight, you have Soderblom, you maybe have Brossoit. I think you put Commesso and Soderblom kind of like that 2A, 2B tier if Soderblom or if Brossoit is not in the picture.
Yeah.
And if hopefully there's not injuries to deal with this year for the goaltenders. But if there is, I think it's very easy to get him up. And if it is, like, let's say if there's a situation where Soderblom is out of the lineup for an extended period of time and Commesso comes in and plays well, he might just stay in the NHL. And I think both of those guys are at that point where you could envision if one's playing better than the other, you make the swap, and it's, it is what it is kind of thing.
Yeah, it's when they traded for Spencer Knight, it did get a little foggy for Commesso because we were talking about Peter Mrazek as the bridge to Commesso for a long time, and now you trade. I would say unexpectedly acquire a young top prospect goaltender from the Florida Panthers, and it sort of changes things. But when you look at it, maybe Soderblom settles for a 2-year deal. Brossoit's deal is up at the end of this year. So maybe they just transition Commesso to the backup in 2 years, which feels like a long time, but goalies historically just take longer to get NHL ready. But I do think he'll get shots. And I also don't think, too, like, if Commesso is just insane in Rockford and he's got like a 940 save percentage and a sub 2 goals against, that they would, if they feel he's ready, they're not married to Soderblom. They're not like, I'm telling you.
I'm fascinated what this arbitration deal is going to come down to.
They're just, I think Soderblom is what he is. He's fine. He's a perfectly fine backup, but I don't think if Drew Commesso shows you he is ready, there's no reason for him to spend another day in the American Hockey League. I don't think they would hesitate to call Commesso up as the backup and try to get Soderblom through waivers if they have to. It's something we have seen from Kyle Davidson. It hasn't been a ton, but we were really worried. Like last year, man, there's a lot of these veterans that are holding guys like Frank Nazar back, and as soon as Nazar showed he was ready, they made space. And it was Joey Anderson, who, like Soderblom, The organization likes him, but I don't feel like they're fully committed to that player being part of things for the next 5, 6, 7, 8 years.
Right.
No, I think Soderblom is a bridge, just like Brossoit was, just like Mrazek was. So if Commesso shows it, I'm confident, even if it's not this season, that he would be at least the backup next year. Mm-hmm. Maybe even a 50-50 split. Who knows? It's a good problem to have.
Yeah, I think a really good problem to have is, oh no, too many good goalies.
Lord Hossa says, I'm not sold on Soderblom personally. He did have a bounce back year last year. He did.
Yeah, that's
what
you're basing it off of.
We've got a bigger sample size of good than bad with Soderblom, whereas with Philip Kurashev, it was the opposite. It was one good season sandwiched by 2 bad ones.
Right.
So we'll see. We'll see.
What is everyone reacting to in the chat?
Because I said Joey Anderson.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's been a while since it's been a while since we've talked about Joey Anderson regularly, so I had to remember what that was about.
Yes. Jason Canham. I know it's Canham, but I like to say Canham. If you could reconfigure the divisions, how would you do so? 4-4-4-4, 5-5-6. When we were in the in a 4 with Winnipeg, Minnesota, and St. Louis, or in a 5 with Minnesota, St. Louis, Detroit, and Columbus. When I did the 5-5-6 alignment, conferences changed a lot. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like the even divisions. I think it just makes things a lot easier.
Yeah, I would do it where, the even divisions is good with the 8. I would configure it. I'm not going to reconfigure the entire NHL right now, but I would reconfigure it so the original 6 is a division, and I would also throw in teams that aren't original 6 but kind of feel like they could be. I'd put Pittsburgh in there, and I think I would also put Philly in there as well.
I like that
because they're in that same kind of they're all basically located in the Great Lakes or St. Lawrence Seaway range. Philly and Pittsburgh are right there. Original 6 plus those 2, that's a division. The rest, the other 28 teams can figure it out.
I agree. I'm 100% down with that.
Or I would go back to the alignment where you had the All Canada division. I'd go back to that too.
The All Canada division was Zippy, the water skiing squirrel. Okay, Dan H. While most teams use their 4th line as a checking line, could the Blackhawks use it in a different way, such as a developmental line, like let Moore center it with Reichel and Slaggert or Doc? The question is really about line usage and the possibility to use them differently. Well, look, I think if you're playing, let's say it's Slaggert and Doc and Moore, that's also kind of a checking line.
That's definitely a high energy line for sure.
Yeah, I would like that line a lot. Now, Reichel played on the 4th line last year, basically because they didn't have anywhere else to put him. But he's certainly not a checking forward by any means.
Yeah, your 4th line usually is more of a energy defensive kind of matchup line rather than trying to create anything. But yeah, I mean, I think the idea of using that opportunity to use it for those young players to play those matchups and to play those roles is not a bad idea. I wouldn't be surprised if there is a line like that this year where it's all young guys, because the team feels like they have a developmental mindset for this season, a teaching mindset for Jeff Blashill. So we'll see how it pans out. But I think you also kind of, especially in the bottom 6, that 4th line role also lends itself to needing to maybe be a bit heavy. But I don't know really who's the heaviest guy they got out there as far as a forward thing. Yeah, Doc would be that guy. So I don't know. We'll see how they do it. But I don't hate that idea of all those players can skate. You know, some of those guys can play heavier, and they're all going to be hungry to get the puck. So I wouldn't hate it.
All right. We got time for one more? We got a quickie? All right. At this point, what is the ceiling for Lukas Reichel points-wise, and does he have to be in a top 6 role to make the team? This is from Tom. Boy, I don't know.
If he comes away with, if he plays this entire season in the NHL in Chicago and has 30 points or more, I will be very satisfied.
Yeah, and that's not a top 6 player.
That is a low bar for a former first-round pick.
Yes, I agree with that. But that's not a top 6 guy.
No.
I'm not putting him on a top. He has to earn a top 6 role.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at on it. So we'll see. I mean, a couple years ago, I was thinking he might be in the 50s. I think that ship has sailed, but who knows? As ACDCZ points out, he has changed up his offseason routine.
Yeah.
Another new coaching staff, Michael Pekka, Jeff Blashill, specifically. Maybe they work with him and they unlock him. We'll find out in just a few short months. Ugh. All right, thanks for being with us. We appreciate it. Tomorrow's show, we are going to talk to Petey. That's right, Steve Peters, our favorite guest. Don't tell the other guests we said that, but it's true. He'll join us.
Our favorite guest that will be on tomorrow.
Yes, he'll join us at 2 p.m., so don't miss tomorrow's show. In the meantime, if you've not done it already, hit that like button for us. Make sure you are subscribed and set yourself a reminder. 2 o'clock on Friday with Petey right here on the CHGO Blackhawks podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.